See what I'm saying? But they talking about, they try to use that I need to order protection, but why it feels like I'm the out here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection, and your protection gone.
Innocent or guilty, criminal or citizen, that could get them anytime for any crime. Say, look, if it say, sir, did you see such and such do such and such and such? Oh, wait a minute. Only time. The only time.
50 Cent has never been one to hold back his tongue. And once again, he lit up the culture by firing shots straight at T.I. The spark came when 50 jumped on Instagram, calling T.I. a Hollywood mutt to everybody watching. He didn't just throw shade. He straight up questioned whether the Atlanta legend had lost touch with his roots. According to 50, T.I. wasn't the same hustler turned rapper who once carried the South on his back.
Only one place in the federal guidelines where you can have 10 machine and get 1 year of community service and 1 year incarceration.
Now, in his eyes, Tip was chasing acting gigs, red carpet shine, and comedy roles instead of sticking to the grind that made him. Fans instantly split. Some argued 50 was simply pulling the mask off, exposing a rapper who traded street credibility for Hollywood relevance. Others fired back saying 50 was just stirring smoke for clout. But 50 didn't stop at words. He dug deeper, dragging T.I.'s past right back into the spotlight. He revived old whispers about Tip cooperating with law enforcement, rumors that had been floating since the late 2000s, all tied to that infamous 2007 Crime Stoppers PSA. 50 made sure those whispers stayed alive. He clowned T.I. relentlessly, even reposting the clip where Tip told people to report crimes. For T.I., this wasn't just a petty celebrity jab. It was a direct hit to his credibility in a culture where loyalty to the streets is sacred. What made it sting even more? The beef didn't come out of thin air. Back in the day, 50 and T.I. were cool. They even worked together musically and were both making big moves outside of rap. But the energy shifted heavy when T.I. caught that federal gun case in 2007. Facing decades behind bars for silencers and machine guns, everyone expected him to be gone for good.
To everyone listening to it, is an awesome song. Listen carefully. Actually, you don't have to even listen that carefully. Yeah. There's a line in there directed at another rapper in the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What line? What rapper is on?
It was a line that has you questioning that you have, is it true you have the best lawyers in the game?
I feel like I do.
Okay.
I have great.
And you asked them a question that if you got caught with 10 weapons in your car, you would have seen 10 years, well, maybe 9.
What makes you feel like there's a line to a rapper?
Yeah. It just seemed to be very coincidental with the timing of things that are going on.
Instead, he shocked the game with what looked like a light sentence, some house arrest, community service, and a short prison bid. For the hip-hop world, especially someone like 50 who lived by street codes, it didn't add up. How could someone walk away so clean when the stakes were that high? And that PSA only poured gas on the fire. Seeing T.I. on camera telling people to cooperate with the cops was all 50 needed to double down. He even laced it into G-Unit's "You So Tough," hinting that T.I. must have cut a deal to dodge serious time. 50 never dropped T.I.'s name directly, but everybody knew exactly who he was aiming at. The implication hit hard and it stuck to Tip's image like glue. For years, whenever 50 wanted to clown someone for being soft or questionable, that Crime Stoppers clip was right there waiting to be dragged back into the spotlight.
Life, you see a snitch, slap him when you see him, knock his nose off. So the next time I'm out, instead of asking for a picture like a little hoe ass, come on, knock my nose out if you think I'm a snitch. Come on, quit smiling in my face trying to get in my section. Don't play with me, think you're talking to. Play with your name. King never gave no information to get anybody in no but now time with no police. If I am working with a police, it'll be to get him to shoot. You talking about?
But here's where it got wild. T.I. didn't just sit back and take it. He fired back, challenging 50 to settle it on the big stage with a 20-song Verzuz battle on 50's own birthday, no less. Tip flipped the energy, saying if 50 had so much dirt, then prove it through the music. Catalog to catalog, hit for hit, let the fans decide. 50 being the king of petty wasn't about to let him off that easy. Instead of focusing on music, he doubled down, spinning the snitch narrative harder than ever. He reposted the PSA clip again and again, even when Tekashi 6ix9ine's case had snitching dominating headlines. 50 used it as the perfect excuse to remind everybody about T.I.'s video, tying it into bigger conversations about loyalty, codes, and hip-hop culture. T.I. clapped back with sharp words, calling the accusations cute but weak. He claimed the real problem was 50 trying to distract the culture from his own skeletons. And Tip didn't stop there. He straight up taunted 50's legacy, saying the Queens rapper had one hot album and a whole lot of trash after it. That disrespect was heavy, and instead of cooling things down, it only turned the beef into a full-blown blaze. Every move became personal and public. Social media posts, interviews, podcasts. This feud turned into one of the most entertaining rap soap operas in years. And through it all, fans were left torn. Was 50 actually exposing something real about T.I.'s past? Or was this just another round of trolling from one of hip-hop's greatest instigators?
When they want to try, like, even for me personally, my character, they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snake.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask him who I told on.
Paperwork.
I ain't never told on no in my life.
Yeah.
In the Prem situation, look at this case. It'll tell you who told on.
Right.
My name ain't in that case.
But Tip wasn't about to let his name get dragged without swinging back hard. After 50 revived the Crime Stoppers video, T.I. went live with comedian K-Dub Walker and later hopped on the Big Facts podcast, making it crystal clear. He never, under any circumstances, gave law enforcement information on anybody. For T.I., that PSA wasn't a confession, it was just a court-mandated PR move, something his lawyers cooked up while he was staring down decades in federal prison. But in hip-hop, perception is everything. And once the snitch label gets stamped on you, it's almost impossible to peel off. 50 knew that, and he weaponized it at every opportunity, posting, laughing, and egging on fans non-stop. The math never sat right with the streets. Let's be real. Most people caught with military-grade weapons don't just walk away with a year in some community service. Fans pointed out that even one illegal gun can easily bring a decade behind bars. So how did Tip slide out clean with 30+ weapons tied to his case? That question alone was enough for 50 to keep poking the bear. And he didn't stop there. 50 even floated the idea that T.I. lost out on the role of Davis McClain in Power because of the beef between them. Though Tip flat out denied it, but that's 50's specialty.
50 had taken the bait.
Second, I don't want to do it injustice.
You use real life situations to create something that's entertaining without being specific. That's entertainment to me. Like if I had an issue, when have you known me to be indirect with an issue?
Oh, you're pretty direct.
Right, so if I had a problem with any artist, trust me, they would know. You see what I'm saying? When I take it and I write that, it's because a lot of people think that. Yeah. And they're not saying it because they're cowardly people. You see what I'm saying? So when you write it and you put it there and you leave it and say, watch, let me watch and see what happens. And there's so much controversy around it, you didn't say anything. Then you go, see, they think that. Yeah. They just won't say it to them because they're a bunch of
He knows how to throw dirt in a way that sticks, whether it's fact or just slick talk. Still, Tip tried to flip the heat into opportunity. He pushed harder for that Verzuz showdown, turning every insult into fuel and every accusation into promo. He dared 50 to step into the ring musically, hammering away at his catalog. T.I. kept calling Get Rich or Die Trying his only classic and clowning the rest of 50's career as washed up and irrelevant. That's where the beef really turned. While 50 kept clowning T.I. about the past, Tip was flipping it back on him, pointing at his stalled music career and saying he hadn't been hot in years. It was a smart move, keeping Tip from looking cornered. Instead of just defending himself, he went on offense, saying, if 50 wants smoke, let's make it public. Let the fans decide whose music really holds weight. But 50 wouldn't budge. Instead of taking the Verzuz bait, he stayed locked on one thing, painting T.N.'s credibility as permanently stained. And just when it seemed like the drama might cool down, another spark lit the fire. In November 2020, after Chicago rapper King Von was tragically killed in Atlanta, T.I. posted a message telling outsiders to stop coming to his city and bringing violence. Basically, he said, handle your beefs in your own city. He probably thought he was pushing for peace, but the timing couldn't have been worse. King Von's family and fans were still grieving, and to them, Tip's words felt cold, like he was distancing Atlanta from the tragedy instead of showing love.
I said, how you feel when them New York and shit like 50 and all them niggas be trying to do all that old?
I'ma tell you something. When you're fighting a man with no arms, expect to get kicked.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIPS. Channel 2, community coverage.
Von's sister Kayla wasn't having it. She went off blasting T.I. for inserting himself into something so raw. And of course 50 wasn't going to miss a shot like that. He quickly reposted her words and told T.I. to chill out, calling him out for being out of line during such a sensitive time. For 50, it was more proof that Tip had a habit of speaking out of turn, making himself look bad in front of fans. The feud had just gained another messy layer. This wasn't only about old legal issues anymore. Now it was about T.I. constantly stepping into situations where his own words turned against him. But the deeper truth, this beef isn't only about clout or accusations, it's about legacy. Both men carved their names into hip-hop in different ways. 50 built an empire, music, business, TV. He stamped himself as more than a rapper. Meanwhile, Tip cemented his place as one of the South's kings, putting trap music on the global map. So when 50 calls him fake, it's not just an insult, it's a direct shot at everything T.I. represents. And when Tip claps back by clowning 50's career, he's really saying, you're not the giant you think you are anymore. This is pride versus pride, ego versus ego, with fans stuck right in the middle. Some side with 50, saying he's only voicing what people been whispering about T.I. for years. Others back Tip, pointing out that 50 has his own skeletons and only deflects by throwing dirt on others. The truth might sit somewhere in between, but what's clear is neither man is ready to bow down. Every time the feud looks like it might cool off, something sparks it back up. An old clip resurfaces, a podcast comment goes viral, or a social media post sets off another round of shots. It's almost like neither one even wants peace, because as much as they roast each other, they know this drama keeps their names buzzing in a game that forgets fast. What really keeps the 50 Cent and T.I. feud alive is how neither of them will let the other walk away clean. Every time Tip tries to set the record straight, 50 finds a way to twist the knife deeper. When T.I. flat out said he never snitched, never testified, never gave law enforcement info on anybody, 50 didn't even argue the details. He just dropped that Crime Stoppers clip again, knowing the image alone would keep doubt alive. That's 50's style. He doesn't have to prove anything. He plants the seed, then sits back while the internet runs wild with it. Meanwhile, T.I. is left playing defense, breaking it down on interviews, Instagram lives, and podcasts, saying the whole thing was misunderstood. According to him, it wasn't about cooperating. It was about fulfilling legal obligations so he wouldn't get hit with a harsher sentence. But here's the problem. Hip-hop rarely forgives when it comes to snitching talk. Even without paperwork, just the idea you might have cut a deal is enough to scar your rep forever. And 50 knows that. That's why he never lets up, because for him, it's the perfect tool to keep T.I. off balance while reminding the culture that he's still the master of beef. But the back and forth also points to something bigger about hip-hop itself. For decades, authenticity has been the real currency of the streets. You can drop hits, sell millions, even cross into movies. But if people think you violated the code, none of that matters. And that's exactly why that Crime Stoppers PSA still hits today. Almost 20 years later, it became more than a video. It turned into a symbol of how fast your image can flip in this game. Fans still compare it to other rappers who caught heavy charges and sat down for a decade or more. Then they look at T.I.'s sentence and call it a magic trick. Maybe it was just elite lawyers, maybe it was something else. Either way, the streets never fully bought it. And on the flip side, plenty of people say 50 shouldn't be throwing stones. They argue he's got his own questionable history that doesn't get talked about. Some fans even flip the script, clowning him and calling 50 a mouse, hinting that maybe he's got skeletons the public just hasn't seen yet. That's what makes this feud so addictive. Both men have power, influence, and messy past, and neither one is clean enough to fully expose the other without risking dirt flying back their way. So where does that leave us? Stuck right in the middle of a feud built just as much on perception as it is on facts. I keeps pressing for that Verzuz battle, saying music is the best way to settle the score. Meanwhile, 50 dodges it, knowing that the drama of the spectacle is way more valuable than the actual showdown. Every time that Crime Stoppers clip resurfaces, every time Tip claps back, every time fans debate if either one is truly solid, the story just grows bigger. And maybe that's the whole play. In an era where beef sells almost as much as music, both of them win by keeping the war alive. 50 gets to remind the culture he's still the most ruthless instigator in the game, and T.I. gets to prove he won't fold, no matter how many times his past gets dragged back in his face. Whether you think Tip really broke the code, or you believe he's just the victim of a never-ending smear campaign, one thing is crystal clear: this feud isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's hip-hop history unfolding in real time. Two legends clashing not just for pride, but for how their legacies will be remembered when the smoke clears. And that's why this story cuts so deep. It's not just about bars, it's about legacy. So now the question's on you. What's your take on this beef? Is 50 Cent really exposing the truth about T.Y.'s past? Or is he just being petty, keeping an old rumor alive for clout? Do you think Tip's sentence was proof of cooperation, or just the result of high-powered lawyers doing what they do best? And the biggest what if of them all, if these two ever did face off in a Verzuz battle, who do you think would walk away with the crown? The South's Trap King or the Queen's Bully? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this debate rolling. And if you've been vibing with this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you on the next one.